In the quiet expanse of Logan County, Kentucky, a curious soul named William Floyd Collins emerged into the world on June 20th, 1887. Little did anyone know that this unassuming individual would become a pivotal figure in the peculiar and cutthroat world of cave tourism. Floyd, as he preferred to be called, was no stranger to the subterranean mysteries that lay beneath the surface of his father's farmland. From a tender age, he found solace and excitement in exploring the hidden depths of the earth, setting the stage for a destiny entwined with Crystal Cave. Today on Terminal Defect, we will be uncovering the 1925 cave tragedy of Floyd Collins. Was not only lucrative, but riddled with intense rivalries. This period, aptly dubbed the Cave Wars, witnessed fierce competition among cave owners, employing questionable tactics to lure visitors into their dark, enchanting realms. Yet, despite Floyd's ardent efforts to transform Crystal Cave into a tourist haven, the odds were stacked against him. The remote location along the Flint Ridge Road proved to be a formidable barrier as tourists, tempted by the mysteries within, chose the more accessible alternatives offered by rival caves. The stage was set for a tale of ambition, competition, and the relentless pursuit of subterranean wonders in the heart of the cave wars. Floyd knew of another potential cave located on property owned by Beasley Doyle. This cave, known as Sand Cave, had prime real estate situated right beside Cave City Road. Travelers would easily pass by Sand Cave before continuing to the other show caves such as Mammoth Cave. Floyd entered into an agreement with Beasley Doyle to explore Sand Cave and share the profits if the cave proved worthy to show armed with nothing but a single kerosene lantern and an indomitable spirit. Floyd delved into the depths of Sand Cave on that fateful day, January 30th, 1925. The initial thrill of discovery soon gave way to the sobering reality of the challenges that lay ahead. Tight passageways tested his mettle, forcing him to contort his body in ways unimaginable. At one point, he found himself inching through a claustrophobic crawl, lantern held out before him, navigating the darkness with an arm stretched to its limits. Just as the cave began to unfold its mysteries in a more open expanse, fate threw a sinister curveball. Floyd's lantern, the fragile beacon guiding him through the abyss, began to flicker ominously. A cave explorer knows the gravity of losing light in the subterranean realm, where darkness becomes an impenetrable shroud. With a heavy heart, Floyd decided to retrace his steps, initiating what would become an arduous journey back through the labyrinthine passages. Yet, fate was not finished with Floyd Collins. In the midst of the narrow crawl, a single misstep triggered a cascade of events that would seal his fate. A 27-pound rock, dislodged by his foot, wedged itself around his ankle, imprisoning him in the cold, stone embrace of Sand Cave. Trapped in a subterranean straitjacket, Floyd's harrowing tale had just begun, unfolding in the chilling depths where darkness held sway and survival hung in the balance. Neighbors began to worry for Floyd the next day and sought out to find him. Though none of them were brave enough to take on the smaller passages it took to reach Collins, they were able to get close enough to communicate with him and learn he was trapped. His younger brother Homer was soon phoned to the scene and was the only person able to make it through the small passages to get to Floyd before reporter Skeets Miller, Lieutenant Robert Burden of the Louisville Fire Department, and family friend Johnny Gerald crossed the boundary in the coming days. Homer brought Floyd food and liquids to retain his energy, and many ideas were thought up by locals and tourists alike as techniques to get Floyd out of the cave. On February 2nd, 1925, a plan was devised to hoist Collins from the cave using a harness, rope, and the strength of multiple men. This attempt failed, and it injured Collins, pulling his torso directly upwards and against the ceiling of rock above him. Rescuers ultimately decided the best way to get him out was to dig out each rock that surrounded him and leverage the large rock off his foot. Eventually, an electric light was run down the passage to provide him lighting and some warmth. Due to the attention the disaster gained, hundreds of inexperienced cave explorers and tourists stood outside the mouth of the cave. The cool winter air caused them to light campfires that disrupted the natural ice within Sand Cave, causing it to melt and create puddles of cool water, one of which Floyd himself lay in. On February 4th, the cave passage collapsed in 2 places due to the ice melting. Attempts were made to dig the passages that led to Floyd back out, but rescue leaders, led by Henry St. George Tucker Carmichael, determined the cave impassable and too dangerous, which brought the decision to dig a shaft straight down to reach the chamber behind Collins. Collins survived for more than a week while rescue efforts were organized. The cave drew air inward, meaning no engineered equipment could be used to dig into the cave, as the fumes would suffocate Collins in the process. A 55-foot shaft would have to be dug downwards with nothing but pickaxes and shovels. It was estimated that the team of 75 volunteer workers would be able to dig this shaft within 30 hours at a rate of 2 feet per hour. The first ton of dirt moved efficiently, though around 10 feet. The shaft became so narrow only 2 men could work at a time. By 15 feet, workers hit boulders under the surface and began to use pickaxes. A series of pulley systems were used to remove rocks from the hole, but the pace of work slowed as they dug nearer to Collins. A radio amplifier had been jerry-rigged to the copper wire that connected Collins's light bulb. A scientist believed the amplifier could detect vibrations whenever Collins moved. The amplifier crackled 20 times every minute, a hopeful sign that Collins might be breathing. Throughout the rescue efforts, the story became too big for Cave City. People began to arrive from all parts of the country, and a carnival atmosphere took hold at the mouth of Sand Cave. Reporters came from all over, as the news of Floyd Collins' entrapment became a national story. The most notable of these reporters was Willem Burke Miller, called Skeets, because he was not much bigger than a mosquito. Skeets Miller made several daring trips into Sand Cave to interview Floyd, interviews which would later earn him the Pulitzer Prize. On the 18th day after his entrapment, rescuers finally reached Floyd via a 55 feet vertical shaft, but it was too late. Floyd Collins was pronounced dead of exposure, and Sand Cave was sealed with Floyd's body inside. Only months later would his body be removed for a formal burial closer to his family's home near Crystal Cave. He now rests in the Mammoth Cave Baptist Church Cemetery. The life of Floyd Collins and the tragic events surrounding his death captivated the attention of the country and brought many changes upon the rural community in south-central Kentucky that is home to Mammoth Cave. His story would later go on to inspire books such as Trapped, written by Robert K. Murray and Roger W. Brucker, and The Life and Death of Floyd Collins, written by Floyd's brother Homer Collins and John L. Lerberger. The Life and Death of Floyd Collins drew the nation's attention to Kentucky's cave country and the desire to protect it, eventually leading to the establishment of Mammoth Cave National Park in 1941. That's all from Terminal Defect. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification for more amazing content. Thanks for watching.